Hola, banidos, ¿cómo estamos? Welcome to Mel's Magic Official. I'm Magic Mel, and this is my angel Charles. Welcome to episode 5 of season 11. Oh my god, I got it wrong in the last episode. I trip up on my own numbers. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm happy to see you. And in this episode, I want to share another big lesson that I learned over the weekend that is really, really humbling because here I am, in Mel's Magic Official telling you, sharing with you, hey, lean into trust. Don't listen to your fear. And guess what I did on Saturday this weekend? I totally got caught up in my own fears, my own mind projections of a situation. So I'm going to tell you the story. Basically, on Saturday, I'd finished my portrait commission and I was all chuffed. I'm like, what should we do next? And just when I said it, I got a message from a friend who I had worked with online, but I had never met in person. So I was a little bit caught off guard. I'm like, you know, wow, they are driving to Portugal and passing my area, if we can spend time together. And, first I thought, yeah, great. Let's spend some time tomorrow. But then I was went up into my head, well, what is good? What is convenient? How am I going to do this? Because I had kind of made plans already for that day and I still wanted to continue those plans. And then we said, hey, let's just do tonight, in an hour. And I'm like, oh my God, but they have a dog. And then I totally went into fear and said, well, I'm not ready. And a part of me was super, you know, fear basically, fear that is based on past experiences where I projected what happened in the past onto the present. That's what our mind does know, or our ego likes to keep us safe. And it does so by projecting what it knows into the present, into the unknown. So I thought, oh my God, I just cleaned the house and they have a dog, and oh my God, I'm not ready to host people here. But then I said, well, then you're not being a good host. And I went into this shaming myself. Well, you should, because, you know, this is a really good person. So I'm just like completely caught in my internal battle and got so anxious that I postponed the meeting and literally until so funny. I mean, I gotta laugh about it. Till I drove myself so crazy that I couldn't sleep in the night because I'm like, well, maybe they expect more from me, or and then I said, well, what is my body telling me? My body's like, no, I want to do this. I said, okay, I'm going to follow. My body was to do its, like, go exercise, but then my mind was like, yeah, but shouldn't you make the time for these people? So I was like, I wasn't sure which voice to listen to and who was who. No, I tell you, hey, don't just listen to your fear voice, listen to your heart, listen to your gut. And I was just in the chaos, in the internal chaos, to the point where I just said, I told my friends, look, I have anxiety. I'm not sure I'm well. I don't know if I can see you guys. And in the end, my friend sent me such a loving message. She's like, Mel, just be as you are. I want to, I really want to see you. I want to give you a hug. Like, I love you. And when I received that message, I snapped out of my mind chat. I'm like, Mel, what are you doing? Just for God's sake, don't be so obsessive and don't be so neurotic. Yeah. Oh, and also, okay, well, I'll tell you a story. Okay, and then I met my friend, and they came with a van, and I met the husband also, who I also never met. That's why I was also anxious, like, ooh, I don't know if we're gonna get along, like all of these fears, no? But then, my friend presented me her husband, and I just had this immediate feeling, oh my God, this is a beautiful, gentle soul, such a beautiful energy. And then my friend was wise enough. She said, hey, let's talk you and I first. And I'm like, okay. So we had a talk. And in the talk, I realized she was just sharing from her heart. I'm like, oh my God, this is so precious. This time is so precious spent together. Her being so vulnerable is so precious. And her trusting me and her making the effort to come and see me. So I was quite embarrassed with myself, to be honest. I also called my mom, because I had messaged her in the middle of the night. I'm anxious. I have anxiety. Not, I didn't say I'm anxious. I have anxiety. And then she said, hey, what's up? What's up? And I said, look, I have these friends visiting, but I was so paranoid. And she's like, oh my God, Melanie, relax. My mom is a very good host. She's like, relax. And she just started laughing. You're like, you're a little bit crazy. No, you are. I'm like, yeah, I am. And then she started to give me the advice that I kept on giving her. And I also told her, hey, mom, you're so wise. She's like, hey, I also watch your videos. I actually take in what you tell me. I'm like, oh my God, and now you're giving me my advice. So it really put me in my place, and I learned that, you know, nobody's immune from being human, quite frankly, no? So I'm not immune of having stress or having anxiety or getting into my head, being fear based or projecting all of that. And it's nice to know that, again, asking for help. For example, in this case, I messaged my mom. She was really supportive and really said, remember, visitors, if you open yourself, are a blessing. And I'm like, wow, that is such precious advice. And from that call, I hung up and I called my friend again because I said, are you still here? Please come over and bring, your husband. I would really cherish to spend some more time with you. And then we had basically another day of such beautiful time. The time just flew. Um, Beautiful sharing, making of food. I realized also how I much more appreciate when I cook together with people, because on my own, I don't know, sometimes I'm unmotivated or uninspired to just cook. And I realized that there's really people out there who I don't need to wear a mask for, who I can really be myself. I don't need to pretend to be in a better state, or I can just be open, and I don't have to lose myself, because my trauma is that basically my fear that I lose myself in relationships, that if I'm too intimate, because I'm very open, I have this open aura that people invade me and that I will be drained. So I have all of these fears, and they are based on experiences in the past where I did have those experiences, that I would just feel completely drained by spending time with people. So there's a protective aspect in me that is projecting the fears and the worries into the present moment. But I remember, I set the intention to the universe that I want to welcome, high vibrational, conscious people here to my place, and that's basically what happened. And people who value me and respect me and just genuinely want to spend time from a state of interdependence. Remember, we spoke about this. But the main thing also is that I could relax because they made me feel safe. And I haven't had many experiences where I felt, sorry, like safe in relationships. So I really thank the universe. It's like, thank you for this gift of people who really have an open heart and made me feel safe. So I want to trust more that it's possible. That I don't, sorry guys, this doesn't usually happen, I'm sorry. Yeah, but my experience is that, relationships are unsafe. And I really want to learn, and this is the topic of this video. I think some things can only be healed in relationship. And I speak to you here about healing. There's a lot of stuff we can do on our own, guys, but some things can only be healed in a relationship and not by shutting down. But my message for you is also that if you've had a similar experience, that you projected your fear based on experiences from the past into an unknown, a new situation, and you regretted it or you felt shame, don't. I also told myself, Magic Mel, it's okay. I'm not going to judge myself for maybe my initial reactions, because you just wanted to protect yourself and your energy. So it's okay. And I want to tell you the same, that if you had a similar experience, don't be hard on yourself. It's okay. You have your reasons to be fearful. But I also want to encourage you to, again, maybe in a situation where you're not sure, get some support, call someone you can trust, or ask your heart again, and just, again, lean into trust and see what happens. Trust that something good can happen out of a surprise, out of something unexpected. Something beautiful can happen. So that's my message for this one. And it's, I want to quote Gabor Mate, because I saw a podcast, um, one episode of the Diary of a CEO, and his interview with Gabor Mate, and that the topic is the shocking link between kindness and illness. You know, that also is my experience. Like, I used to be a people pleaser and too kind and betray myself, and there is this still protective aspect in me that is scared of relationships, because it's protecting me. It's telling me, hey, you cannot lose yourself, you cannot betray yourself, you cannot override your own needs. So I went the other extreme of being quite a hermit, and like, I can do everything on my own. I'm self-sufficient, but I'm learning also that it's beautiful to open up to people. And for example, my friend's husband, he really was inquisitive, he was really engaging. I felt the conversation was really the root, went back to root significance of the word, which means to pour into each other. Conversare is to pour with each other. So I didn't feel like it was one-sided or the energy was stuck. There was a real flow of energy and conversation. And I didn't feel drained. Quite to the contrary, my heart was filled, a little bit. I was like, oh my God, I hope I'm not going to be sad when they go, because, when you're okay on your own until somebody shows up, and when they leave, you miss it. They leave, you miss them. But I said, no, this is really a gift from the universe, right at the right time, where I was maybe getting too entrenched in my routine or my habit. I was getting too obsessive, or just too, quite frankly, anal with my stuff here. Like, oh, I don't want my house to be intruded. Like, what the hell, Magic Mel? So, and even the dog made friends with my cat. I'm like, what the hell is going on? It was the most well-behaved dog, sweetest dog, the sweetest people, and a beautiful experience and lesson. And this is really something I want to tell you also, that everything serves us. Even, I could say, well, I didn't act as I could have. We could have spent more time if I hadn't been all obsessed in my head and neurotic about the situation. But it's okay. It was still a beautiful time, an ending, maybe shorter than it could have been. But I draw a lesson from it also. And I'm going to cherish this friendship now, because I really feel these are people I want to connect with and stay connected with. And just like anything that we cherish, we got to nourish things. We want to take care of our garden, see the plants grow. We have to water them, which reminds me, I need to water my plants. Oh my God. And relationships need to be nourished. So let me know if this was valuable. I send you lots of love and compassion. Please, please, please don't judge yourself if you go through something similar. It's understandable that you come from a place of self-protection and fear when you're faced with a situation that reminds you of something from the past. Okay? So guys, this was episode 5 of season 11, not season 10. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your presence, for your time. Thank you for liking and sharing and subscribing. Charles and I super appreciate you. And I forgot my spiel. If you want to support Mel's Magic Official, my Patreon is in the description box below. I share extra content on there. But in any case, I'm just really grateful to have you on here also, and to have the connection with you. Okay, so stay tuned for episode 6 coming right after this one. I'm going to pull some cards for you also, because it's been the new moon in Libra, and Libra is all about balance. So here we go. The lesson of balance, of not alienating myself too much, but to stay in touch with people, um, solitude and connectedness, the balance of both. Sending you lots of love. Ciao, bandidos.